All right, let's take a look and see. I turn the light on and see how the valves look. I mean, I've got some grime in there, but not so bad. It don't look too bad. Take a look at that one. It's got some carbon, but not too bad. Let's take a look at the exhaust side here. What do we got? That does not look good. So she might have been running lean on that side. It's the same though. So that just might be fuel deposits and stuff. Take a look. I'm not sure I'm going to pull these heads apart. If the valves are sealing, I'm not going to do anything crazy. Okay, there we go. The gasket's intact here, and that's nice. We're going to go ahead and pull out the rods. There we go. These springs are pretty weak, so you can just literally just pull them out. We're going to keep track of which one goes where. So that all looks good down in there. Yeah. So you can see that, you know, the exhaust rod is this thin one, and the intake is this larger aluminum job. We'll keep track of which direction they were going and everything else. I'm going to leave the valve train on here. I don't see any adverse damage in there. I mean, you can see some wear, but this motor's got 800 hours on it. I don't see anything catastrophic in there. So we're just going to leave these be. Obviously, once it's put back together, these are going to have to be, the lash is going to have to be reset, but I did just a quick check, and they're not tight. So it's not like we'll bind up the system. And again, this motor is running pretty good, so we'll do that. We're going to pop the other valve cover, and you can see one of the head bolts is down inside there. It's one of the reasons the valve cover's got to come off, because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 head bolts, and then the head will come off. So we got to do the same on the other side. You could probably pull the head with, well, you couldn't pull the head with the valve cover on, but you could probably pull the head with the rods in and leave them in there. But I'm going to be throwing this motor around, so there's not a good idea. Just take them out and leave them out. We got this valve cover off, and this gasket's in good shape. We're just going to give it a squeeze and pop off the rod. Get that one squeezed. Pop off the rod. There we go. It fell out nice and easy to squeeze. Again, pay attention which end's down. It looks okay. It looks okay. So, we got those out. Again, these rockers. I got some wear on them, but they don't look bad. Yeah, okay. And again, we'll have to reset the lash on this. So let's get these heads off. Well, looking at that, she's got oil. She's just an oil. Now that gasket has to be replaced anyway. I did damage it a tad, taking it off. But it doesn't look, I don't see any kind of damage there. If it was leaking there, I would also have carbon on the inside of the rocker box and where the rods go. Now I'm seeing oil, and I'm also seeing polished bores. There's no crosshatch visible in those bores. Looking at that, that's awfully clean. I think that oil took most of it out. I'm concerned that this bore is out of spec. I'm looking at it. That's a lot of room. I have a feeling it's so shiny. This block might be a reject. That's a lot of gap. I'm not sure this engine has long to live. I just think that just looking at the gap between the cylinder and the piston, I think I'm in reject land. But these bores are definitely shiny as hell. And we'll go by the spec. And, you know, if it says that the pistons aren't going to fit in the bore anymore and the bore's screwed up, the bore's screwed up. But that baby is shiny. Sorry, I dropped my glasses. Let's take a look here. And I've got a ridge that I can feel. So, yeah. Maybe it has... Yeah, I can put a reamer in there if I need to. But that might be... I mean, it's not awful. I would have expected this to be more carboned up, but the amount of oil its intake, you know. And again, I'm looking here, and there was no break in the exhaust here. That's another problem that they can commonly have is blow a head gasket here. But if that was the case, you'd see carbon on the inside of the rocker boxes. So this was not blowing out that way. You know, there's definitely oil. The valves look okay. They're not sunken, anything like that. I mean, they've got some scorch on them and stuff like that, but didn't look too bad. But yeah, I was pulling oil right up the cylinder. So we'll take a look at the other side. Okay, now this one does look different. Some discoloration in there. I might have been blowing through there. I don't know. Other than that, the rocker box looks clean. The valves look the same. Neither one of them are sunken. So, piston bore looks pretty clean. That doesn't look wonky. Wondering if you ever get a situation where one piston is all fucked up and the other one isn't. That bore is polished. Alright, well, that's that. I don't see any overall discoloration in the rocker boxes. Obviously the gaskets get destroyed when you pull them off, so we'll clean that all up really good before we put new cylinders on. But we still got some diagnosis here. We got to get those pistons out. We got to check those bores. But they are shiny. No crosshatch. We'll see if the rings are broken too. I don't know. You know, it seems like a lot down there. She might be egg-shaped. When I bring it up to the top, it doesn't look too bad. And we're going to have to check the clearances and stuff. They're not supposed to be super tight in there. Again, I got all the specs in the book. Tell me what size it's supposed to be. So, but they are shiny. So at a minimum, those rings aren't doing their job. We'll have to check the end gap on those rings, and the only way to do that is to pull the pistons out. I expect that they're over 30, which is the drop dead on that. Again, the bore size themselves, I don't know. And again, I might slap a hone in it, see if the new rings are under 30, and if they are, I might just throw it back together, regardless of whether it's reject or not, because I got the lawn to mow. But at this point, we got both heads off, so we'll set the heads aside. Of course, they're going to get a nice scrub and stuff, but set the heads aside, lay the motor down on its nose, and pull a rear cover, and then get these pistons out. Okay, there we go. We got the side cover off. She's in time. You can see the marks. So, everything's there. We've got a little schmutz. I was wiping that off with a rag that wasn't lint-free. Obviously, I'll rinse all of that off before anything goes back together. And I've got the keepers off, so I can lift the cam out. The cam will come straight out. Nice and easy. There we go. And the cam is out. That don't look too bad. A little wear. It's got some wear on the cam, but not awful. Yeah. The lower one wears more than the top one, and that's just the way it is. So it's fine. Yep. I got to get the rest of that oil out of there. Spin this crank around, and I'll get it so that I can pull the pistons out, and then I'll pull the pistons. And that'll be that. And then it's time to washy and measure. Okay, and we've got the rod bolts loose. Not so bad. And number 2's on top, number 1's on the bottom. We're going to take them out, keep them in the exact same orientation. Just slip them both right out. And then after that, we're going to probably clean the bores and then measure them thoroughly. And check the end gap on the rings that we pull out. And at that point, we'll make decisions. Here we go. Again, these are all loose, and I'm just going to pull them out. They're all in the exact same positions, so again, I can't do this with one hand, so I'm going to pull those rods out. And all right, there we go, and you can see the shiny bores. You can see the crosshatch at the very bottom. So I'll take it over to this side, and you can see here, real shiny, and that's what they're supposed to look like. That bit right there at the back, that's what the whole bore is supposed to look like. So we got the pistons out. Now the rod journals don't look great, but they don't look roached. So we'll check all the clearances and stuff, but the next thing is we got to check these bore dimensions. Yes, that means time for some precision tools, because a 1/4 of an inch or a 1/16 of an inch ain't going to get it. We got to do this by the 1,000th, but we'll check it out. I'll get set up for some measuring soon. Well, lucky me, I sure ain't gonna mow, because it's raining, and we just had a big swamper come through. Mother Nature says you got a day or two to fix your mower, because I think you can hear all the generators running. We had a power hit, but oh my, yeah, I'm not gonna mow. I got a river running through it. It's still raining, but it's not raining as hard as it just was. Yeah, so I got a bit of a reprieve. Still got to get that motor put back together. We'll see.